Icewind Dale, Episode 7, Tracks Don't Lie. We join our party as they have ventured out into the dark and snow-covered town of Konig. Trovis, the dragonborn town speaker, has recruited them to assist him in finding and stopping thieves that have been noticed around town. After Varian and Aurelia spotted a suspicious character, the party decided to go to the home and investigate. Jaw cleared up Trovis's drunkenness, but not his hangover as they went. Our heroes discovered the strange individual was really 3 kobolds in a trench coat, taking shelter in the home of a kindly man. They denied thieving around town, but informed the party that they were outcasts from a kobold group that had infested the mine in Tourmaline. After returning to the Northern Lights Inn for some rest, our heroes noticed fresh tracks in the morning darkness that led to a sled pulled by what could only have been an ogre. Jaw elected to remain in town in order to improve his craft and to learn more about dwarven lore under the tutelage of the dwarven guide, Jartha. Setting out, Varian led the group across the tundra for miles and put his tracking skills to the test while following the trail through the foothills of Kelvin's Cairn. What they found in those hills was a secret fortress full of Dark Dwarves. Andraste led the party stealthily to invade the stronghold. They avoided the trapped front door and found the ogre that had pulled the sled was zombified and imprisoned beside a goblin. Suddenly, a Duergar noticed the party's presence and sent up the alarm. The Dark Dwarves and zombie ogre streamed in to try and quash the invaders. With the help of Spinach, the goblin warlock whom the Dark Dwarves had imprisoned, the party valiantly eviscerated the ogre with a cloud of daggers and Andraste's flaming blade. Azagor held the line against his invisible foes in a narrow corridor, and the mad combat finished when Andraste and the rest of the party arrived to finish off the Duergar. But much of the stronghold remains to be explored. Who knows what enemies might lurk further into the dark depths of this bleak, hidden fortress of the Dark Dwarves. Icewind Dale, Episode 8, The Dark Dwarves. Our party has infiltrated a stone-built stronghold hidden among the foothills of Kelvin's Cairn. After a brief but brutal fight with a zombified ogre and several dwarven figures with gray skin, black armor, and an aversion to the light of the sun, the party presses further into the dark, dreary halls. With their new companion Spinach the Goblin in tow, Varian pressed forward into a prison chamber holding 5 bodies of Reghead and 10 Towner captives. Aurelia, wanting to examine the bodies more closely, pulled a lever on the wall, which caused all the cells to spring open, and the corpses inside of them to animate into shambling zombies with horrific fungal growths overtaking their bodies. The young heroes moved quickly to cut down the clumsy beasts as Spinach hid and took pot shots from outside the room. After the skirmish, Aurelia entered another doorway and was immediately skewered by the thrown javelins of the 4 dark dwarves lurking ready on the far side of the door. In this cramped and dingy barracks, an intense fight erupted as Andraste and Azagor rushed into the fray to protect Azagor's wounded sister. One of the Dark Dwarves grew to tower over the party, and the blows of black iron warpicks hammered our heroes. Aurelia rained down burning starlight onto the battlefield as Andraste bit into the thigh of a massive dwarf with his fangs. As the dwarves fell to the party's might and magic, Azagor brought his hammer down onto the head of the massive foe, felling him and ending the battle decisively. Further exploration of the barracks turned up a bag of pearls that had been reported stolen from Konig. As the party pressed forward into darkness, Varian was suddenly separated from his friends by the leader of the stronghold. Nildor, the commander of these dwarves, activated a trap that nearly skewered Varian, but instead trapped him in a tight space with a powerful evil dwarf separated from his friends by a row of iron bars. As Nildor tried to kill Varian, his friends thought quickly, and Aurelia summoned her psionic powers to reverse the lever and retract the deadly spikes. It was over quickly after that, as the party rushed in to overwhelm the gray-faced commander, and Azagor once again ended the fight with a tremendous blow from his hammer. While searching Nildor's office, Aurelia found several shards of dark crystal. Meanwhile, Andraste turned up a note that mentioned the collection of a substance called startling. The fact that Nildor had a brother named Dirth, and that Dirth was leading another group of Duergar on raids into East Haven from their base on the frozen East Haven ferry. After locating the missing magical lantern from the Northlook Tavern and collecting all the loot they could carry, the battered and bruised heroes returned triumphant to Speaker Trovis with their recovered items. Meanwhile, Shaw spent a day in the company of Jartha, a brash young dwarven woman who agreed to teach him about tanning hides. While they tanned the hide of a crag cat, Shaw and Jartha conversed about smithing, the orc tribes, Shaw's introduction to Moradin from a blacksmithing manual, and eventually, Jartha admitted that she herself was born in the Dwarven Valley that Shaw sought entrance into. She instructed him in a secret way to gain entrance to the Dwarves' stronghold, and the two exchanged gifts in an unprecedented show of orc-dwarf friendship. Once the party reunited and spinach melted away in search of more profit, tales were told of the battle to Trovis, and drinks and food were shared in the Hook, Line, and Sinker Tavern. Just when things seemed to be winding down for a relaxing evening, the heroes were confronted by another adventuring party. A charismatic, dark young ranger and a hulking Goliath challenged the party to a drill contest. Nay, a drinking contest. Do our young heroes have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with a much more battle-hardened group?